everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would do a November reads, what I'm planning to read in the month of November, and I picked 8 books, which is probably about average. Sometimes it's a bit more, sometimes it's a bit less, but yeah, I would say 8 is around average. So I thought I would just run through them with you and you can get an idea. So first up, we've got The Air Raid Book Club by Annie Lyons. In the darkness of the Blitz, books kept their hopes alive. And reading the blurb, this is basically about a bookseller called Gertie. She's still getting over the unimaginable loss of her husband. And then a Jewish refugee, 15-year-old Hedy Fisher, arrives at her door. And Gertie fears she has nothing to give the troubled girl. But when the Blitz begins, Gertie and Hedy realise that joining forces will make them stronger in the face of adversity, and that books have the power to unite a community in its darkest hour. So that looks good. Then I've got Kristin Harmel's The Paris Daughter. 2 mothers, 2 daughters, 2 families torn apart forever. And this is in Paris 1939. Best friends Elise and Juliet are certain nothing can come between them. When war breaks out and Elise is forced to flee, she entrusts Juliet with her daughter, playmate to Juliet's own little girl. With the war finally ending, Elise returns to reunite with her daughter, only to find her friend's bookstore reduced to rubble and Juliet nowhere to be found. Determined to believe they are alive, Elise's search for her daughter and friend take her across the world to New York, where she hopes the answers are waiting for her. An epic sweeping story about mothers and daughters, the way loss transforms us and the strength we find in the face of impossible odds. Next up, I've got The Last Passenger. Last night the ship was full, so where has everybody gone by Will Dean. So, a luxury cruise liner streaming into the mid-Atlantic and you are the only passenger left on board. Kaz Ripley, a cafe owner from a small ordinary town, boards the RMS Atlantica with her boyfriend Pete and 1,000 fellow passengers destined for New York. The next morning, she wakes to discover that everyone else on board has disappeared. And that's just the beginning. Kaz must prepare for a crossing that will be anything but plain sailing. Next up, we've got Lily Graham's The German Girl, a heart-wrenching and unforgettable World War II historical novel. The home they loved had become a place of danger. This is Hamburg 1938, and this is about 15-year-old Asta and her twin brother Jürgen. And the mood in the city is tense. Synagogues have been smashed with sledgehammers and Asta is too frightened to laugh as she used to. But when she and Jürgen are stopped in the street by a friend, her world implodes further. Her Jewish parents have been dragged into the streets by German soldiers. And if she and Jürgen return to their house, they will be taken too. So, heartbroken at the loss of her parents, Asta knows they must flee. With her beloved brother, she must make the perilous journey across Germany and into Denmark to reach their only surviving relative, her aunt, a woman they barely know. Jammed into a truck with other refugees, Asta prays for a miracle to save herself and Jürgen. Crossing the border is a crime punishable by death, and what she and Jürgen must embark on, a dangerous crossing on foot through the snowy forest dividing Germany and Denmark. And when barking dogs and armed soldiers find Jürgen and Asta escapes, she must hold on to the hope that no matter what, one day she will find her twin, whatever the price she has to pay. So that looks good. And then we've got, this is quite an old one. Well, the Costa Novel Award 2013 winner. This is Kate Atkinson's Life After Life. Pretty late to the party on this one, but I just wanted to give it a go. What if you had the chance to live your life again and again until you finally got it right? During a snowstorm in England in 1910, a baby is born and dies before she can take her first breath. During a snowstorm in England in 1910, the same baby is born and lives to tell the tale. What if there were second chances and third chances? In fact, an infinite number of chances to save your life or to live your life. Would you eventually be able to save the world from its own inevitable destiny, and would you even want to? Next up, I've got an Agatha Christie, A Murder is Announced. I have not the full set, but I would say over 3/4 of the set of this particular. It's called the Agatha Christie Collection. It came with like a magazine probably about 20 years ago. And yeah, I collected a lot of them. And every now and again, I like to go through and read one. Maybe I probably read about 5 or 6 a year. And this one is A Murder is Announced, which it doesn't really give much away, but I have read it before. I can't actually remember what happens, so I'll give that one a go. And next up, I've got Eating for Victory, Healthy Homefront Cooking on War Rations. And this is reproductions of official Second World War instruction leaflets. And getting the most from food on a budget doesn't mean scrimping on taste and health benefits, as this collection of original 1940s leaflet shows packed full of recipes for delicious and nourishing meals that won't break the bank, along with tips for healthier lifestyle. This nostalgic compilation of government-issued advice show how millions of people made do with food shortages in wartime Britain. From planting vegetables and using up leftovers to recipes for cheap and tasty puddings, Eating for Victory shows that healthy living on a budget is anything but a chore. And this is just, I don't know, pleasing to the eye. It's all set out nicely. I like the little illustrations. It's very of its time, and there's a little bit of everything in there. I think this is more, not probably reading cover to cover, but just having a little look and a little flick through. So we're going to give that a go. There's a contents page there. And the last book that I'm going to have a look at is Through the Kitchen Window. Again, this is quite an old book. I think this was in the 80s, maybe 85, 84, by Susan Hill, Through the Kitchen Window. And I just like the illustrations. It's seasonal, and I'm just going to have a little look through. Again, this is something that you can just flick through, really. Picnics. So this is summer. And I should have a little look, because I think we start in winter. Let's have a look. Yeah. So the winter kitchen, and then I think there's just like little, let's read it. Through the kitchen window, we glimpse a magical world, a world where each season brings its particular pleasures, from summer picnics to Christmas, from spring cleaning to making herbal remedies for winter ills. Susan Hill's evocative text and Angela Barrett's exquisite paintings conjure up delights for all the senses. The hot, savoury smells of the steamy winter kitchen, the sound of the refrigerator humming night and day in summer, the taste of the first rhubarb of the year, and the satisfying sight of a shelf of bottled, pickled, jellied autumn produce. This is also a world in which we labour long and hard, and Susan Hill provides a wealth of practical modern recipes, tips, and imaginative and useful ideas. So this was first published in Great Britain in 1984. So I'll probably just have a little look at autumn, winter, and save the summer and spring for next year. So that's what I'm reading for the month of November. And if I finish them, I finish them. If I don't, I don't. I've just popped them on, and we'll see how we go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll probably come back at the end of the month and let you know what I thought of them and how many I got through. And then I'll probably tell you what I'm reading for the month of December. Bye, guys.